Arizona.
I'll just begin by saying that I feel really, really good today. You know, I feel that the legislature has finally come together and in a bipartisan manner to, of course, solve the problem that Arizona is facing, and that they've stepped up and addressed the issues that I was very concerned about not decimating education and public safety and those most vulnerable of our society. So today is a good day. It's a good day for Arizona. It's a good day for the legislature.
Governor, what role do you think?
Earlier this week, Governor Jan Brewer signed the special session education funding to complete the state's budget plan. Public schools have the money to operate, but with that, more of your tax dollars had to be spent than the original plan called for. And as a result, the state's budget is even farther away from being balanced. To talk more about this, we have Dr. Byron Schlomach from the Goldwater Institute joining us this morning. We were just talking, and you said you're just surprised about what her people are thinking.
Well, right. I mean, she says just now that she was trying to keep the public education budget from being decimated, but the disputed amount of money was less than 3% of the total amount that's spent in public education. I hardly think that's, well, I mean, it doesn't even begin to meet the definition of the term decimated, which would at least imply a 10% reduction.
Well, one of the things you talked about with balancing the budget is that tax increase. She's trying not to call it that. In fact, take a listen from her press conference from earlier this week, and then I'll get your reaction on it. But here's the governor.
Arizona. Now, our job's not done. You know, now, of course, the budget is really out of whack because they funded education to many people's delight of $382 million into education. But the fact of the matter is that we're going to have to come back. We're going to have to address the issue of the budget not being in balance, and we're going to have to come back and, again, do some spending cuts, reductions, some more spending reductions, and look for additional revenues. And I was in contact with the Speaker and the President at about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and they assured me that they would be here tomorrow working on some type of revenue enhancement. So that's very encouraging.
Now, one of the things that I've heard is that some folks say she needs to take a lesson from Texas's Governor Rick Perry, who dealt with, I think, a $9 billion deficit and did not tax. You used to be in Texas. What do you think?
Exactly. The Federal Reserve put out a short article not long ago summarizing the economic effects of taxation and government spending. Now, a dollar in tax will reduce economic activity by between $1.30 and $3. A dollar in government spending actually results in only 70 cents of economic activity. The net, therefore, is anywhere from 60 cents to $2.30 less economic activity for every dollar you spend in tax in government. So, in fact, what this would do is take us backward. There keeps being this language that somehow or another, if we cut government spending, we're going to hurt our economy. No, it's the other way around.
That's your solution.
We have to cut government spending. The net result, compared to increasing taxes, is a whole lot better. And we have to also recognize the fact that government has grown tremendously in this decade here in Arizona. When you look at general fund expenditures, they mimic the housing bubble. They shoot way up, and in the last couple of years, they've only been flat, unlike housing prices, which have come down.
How much blame do you think should go to former Governor Janet Napolitano for what many people think leaving us in this mess?
She deserves a lot of the blame. I agree with that. But the reaction of Governor Brewer since she's taken office has been really kind of more of the same, this sort of unreality, this unwillingness to acknowledge where we really are in terms of revenue in this state and in terms of our economy.
Well, listen, we appreciate you joining us this morning, Dr. Byron Schlomach from the Goldwater Institute. At least the good news, you said covering politics in Texas is more like covering a bloodbath than it is here, even though it's been an interesting summer
That's true.
for our state legislature. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.